Obviously, really excited about the three student athletes that signed today and are now officially part of the Razorback basketball family. And I think speaking of family, it really starts with not just the player / student athlete, but also the family, meaning the inner circle, moms, dads, coaches that have all been a part of the recruiting process, and we feel like all three of these guys, families have been really bought into what we're about, what our culture's about, and then obviously all three we believe are really talented players. They're going to have a huge impact on us, and with that, I'll just kind of open it up to any questions.
Coach, I know different programs pay different amounts of attention to recruiting rankings and things like that, but with Jordan Walsh to not only land a 5-star prospect, but to go outside the borders of the state to do that, what does that mean for the program?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Walsh is, when he's such an explosive athlete. He was my, favorite guy to watch at that wing position, and actually, he's got some unique abilities to be a passer too. He's a grab and go guy. Like, he can grab a defensive rebound and ignite your fast break. But he's an electric athlete to watch. Like, people are gonna love watching him play in Bud Walton. He's got explosive dunks. He's got creative passing ability off the bounce. He can make three-point shots. He can guard positions 1 through 4. He can play positions 1 through 4. And certainly anytime a player is a top 10 talent and a 5-star, they're hard to get involved with even. But his dad, John, and his mom, Sandra, they were open, and his brother, and when they came on campus, there was we would have been like deeply hurt if he wouldn't have been a Razorback player, because we felt a real connection to the entire family. I can tell you that.
Just kind of what you look for out of Pinion, and plus his significance being an in-state player.
Yeah, I think the thing with Joseph is, he's the first one to step up and in this class and say, hey, I want to be a Razorback player. I think that's always a powerful message when somebody believes in what's going on and wants to commit at an early stage. But he obviously is, a great shooter with deep range. He's got incredible passion to be a Razorback player. His dad and his mom and his sister, they've been on, several football games, and I think he's really excited about getting on campus. And obviously he's become more and more healthy, playing now without the knee brace, but gives us good length and a guy that can play the 2-3 spot.
I guess something about Barry and going in and getting a guy out of Alabama when they've obviously got it going pretty good to go in there and kind of steal one,
Yeah, no, Barry is multifaceted. He can – another really versatile player. He's great off the elbows. He's a really good passer and a willing passer. Very well coached. He really understands spacing. He's got a really high basketball IQ with the ball in his hands and when the ball's not in his hands. A guy that can score with his back to the basket, can score around the rim, can face up. But I think his passing right now really separates him at his size. And, another family that when they came on campus, we kind of felt when he was here, even the first day, that, is this guy going to possibly commit? Because a real bond. And Barry's mom's brother is Pete Myers, who actually played for my dad in some minor league all-star games, and obviously Pete played for the Bulls, and longtime NBA coach and a longtime NBA executive. And my very first phone call with Barry's mom, she said, "You're lucky your dad's not still coaching," because that's who Barry would play for, because she remembered when my father coached at South Alabama. And, you know, when you have these phone conversations, you got to figure out, like, who do you invest your time on and who do you have a real chance with. And when Barry's mother said that, you know, we all felt as a staff that we had to really, you know, go all in, even though, you know, we knew that, you know, he's from Bama, and Alabama's got a great program, and Auburn's got a great program, but and a lot of the SEC schools were recruiting him. But all three guys, just because they can play multi-positions, I think, you know, are a really good fit for us.
You can't talk about guys who haven't signed, but I assume you're anticipating more additions, and just how good do you feel about that, maybe when the whole class is finalized?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we can only, you know, discuss, you know, the three guys today, but we feel really good about you know, the direction, you know, the way we're building this thing, and you know, I think we saw, you know, last year the impact of what the four freshmen can do. You know, again, three of them, you know, starting on an Elite Eight team, and three of those guys starting, you know, the last few games in the tournament, and two of them starting, you know, basically the second half of the season. So these guys are going to have an impact for sure, and a really, really positive impact. And it's, you know, for many of them, it's going to be an impact right away, just like we saw last year with some of the guys.
Coach, how does having some of these high caliber and ranked and starred recruits, you know, you've got some number ones in their states, how does signing those kind of bigger name guys help you in future recruiting classes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just, you know, for the younger classes to see that, you know, Arkansas is whatever, 2 or 3 or whatever it may be, you know, nationally from a recruiting, I mean, it's interesting because when Kareem, Moody, and I, you know, had our first initial conversation, it was not necessarily with Kareem, but it was just like with the kids, like student athletes, you know, like, is it cool? You know, is it a cool program? And you know, I think right now, you know, nationally that, you know, Arkansas has, you know, because of winning and we do some stuff off the wall and a little bit unique, and you know, I think the crowds, I think there's just so many things that become attractive to players nationally right now, and that's why, you know, we've done fairly well nationally and also in state.
Obviously, you can only speak to the 3 signees, but just thinking back to what you set out to accomplish with this class in terms of just the type of players and the things that you were looking for to bring into the program, how pleased are you with what you've done?
I mean, we're really pleased. I mean, I think, you know, the thing that's really unique is just, you know, the investment as far as a time that you have to put in when you're recruiting guys, you know, that are this good. I mean, it's building the relationship. It's daily phone calls. It's FaceTimes. It's, you know, walking away from TV shows with your wife at 9 o'clock at night to, you know, to continue to build relationships with family members and inner circle people that are close to the student athlete. But I mean, we're more than excited. Again, I think that last year, you know, kind of showed what can happen if you get the right pieces, regardless of, you know, is it a transfer, is it a freshman? I mean, if they're really good players, freshmen can have a huge impact, like an incredible impact, and we feel like, you know, this class is heading in that direction for sure.
Was there any concern going in, just given the restrictions with, you know, the recruiting and being able to get out and get in the gym? And then when that opened back up this summer, how beneficial was that to be able to get out and physically see these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's you know, quite honestly, there's a reason that you know, we went really hard after that group of 4 guys, and then during the pandemic, look, when you scout in the NBA, if you're watching stuff on film, it helps a little bit, but you got to see guys live. You got to see how they run. You got to check out their body language. You got to see how competitive they are. How are they on the third day of AAU after, like what's their toughness? We didn't want to have a large class, for what's here now because we couldn't see them. And so this group I've seen them. I'm not relying on, the assistant. Like I've seen these guys with my eyes. I've envisioned how each of these three guys can fit in, what their strengths are, areas that they have to improve on that we've talked to them about. And you got to win with stars too, and we feel like, this class is going to have some star players for sure.
Coach, I know you can't talk about them, but are you still confident that you'll still add a couple more guys to this group, a couple more high school guys?
Yeah, I mean, right now, Hutch, the only thing we can talk about is three guys that have signed, and like I said, we're ecstatic about all three of them.